This is another wrestling topic type of video, and this one really came to mind after hearing some more details about Bray Wyatt's new gimmick, the Fiend, and all the pretty much dark wrestlers I see on social media who wrestle as dark wrestlers, and it's just weird to me. And I'm going further depth into it because it sounds kind of rambling, but you'll see when I get there. Since I do believe the early 90s, maybe late 90s, 98, 99, there was like an influx of a lot of dark characters in wrestling, meaning in WWE, and due to their budget and production and things that people wrestlers allowed to do, you had plenty of wrestlers that came to WWE that was dark wrestlers. You had the Brood, Edge and Christian with Gangrel. Then at one point it was the New Brood with Gangrel and the Hardy Boys, Undertaker and his ministry, the Acolytes, Kane. I believe I'm forgetting somebody on the east side, but I know there was like a lot of wrestlers on WCW, like Morris at a time, who was really Chris Kane, Ralph, Brian Clark at a time, even though his character looked not in the dark colors per se, but in a dark way, and you see in his matches and stuff like that. Raven, he was dark, but it's Raven. You give him a pass regardless. The Flock, at a certain point in time, they were considered dark the way they just lounge around on Havocs and stuff like that. Vampiro and El Messia, who's also Juice Messia, Alpha Messia, and he was also Muse Mortis and Lucha Underground, and all those guys, due to their company having like a decent budget for like pyro and effects, they was able to get over it and make their characters more believable, more understanding, more destructive. Now that WWE is moving away from pyro, which is kind of stupid because that helps certain characters, and if you have a video game and you only use pyro there, it's kind of weird that you won't allow it in the real world. But yeah, there's like an influx of like dark characters throughout the independents, throughout all the other promotions, and in Mexico as well, and they don't get the same treatment as it used to be with dark characters. After, I do believe the first shoe fell off was when Lucha Underground pretty much went hiatus, and all the dark characters on that show were not getting featured anymore. And once that storytelling is gone, you have a void that pretty much hasn't been filled, because they're trying to do dark characters, but right now they're only pushing one. Which if you have plenty of dark characters, you should be pushing 1, 2, or 3 of them, not just one. Because if one go down, guess what? You out of luck. Just like when you have at a job, you have like 2 or 3 people working the same job. So if one person go down, somebody can replace them. Another thing is they don't have creative freedom for the character to really express themselves, whereas like back in the middle 90s, whatever, with Vampiro and stuff like that, they was pretty much able to do whatever the heck they wanted to do to get their character more credibility, because one, WCW really didn't care for people like Vampiro and the Muda, so they was able to give her a lot of stuff, because there still is many folks about the older guys. The WWE was pretty much transitioning to be corporate and stuff, so They had to cut down on dark stuff like Undertaker and Stephanie and stuff like that. ECW, they was doing some dark angles, but due to their budget, they wasn't able to fulfill being real dark characters. Then like Mordecai, Kevin Thorne, he came along. He was like the perfect specimen to like lead the dark characters in the WWE after ECW closed and came on the WWE banner, but things backstage didn't go right, and Sherry Martinez, she was fired, so they left Kevin Thorne by himself, and you see how things work out there. And Gangrel, he was supposed to be in the faction with him, but things didn't work out right. Another thing is like it was a detriment really in the end time, in the end run. But when Sting was encouraging Abyss to start talking TNA, that completely destroyed Abyss's aura. Because at the beginning, Abyss, lack of a better word, was a dummy, but he was a monster dummy. Like, he wasn't that smart in the head, because he had James Mitchell, who's quote unquote his father, but he was the muscle who got the things done. But when Sting started getting him to talk, that's when everything stopped and you couldn't take him seriously anymore. And for me, when he started doing the face paint and using that ugly new mask, that the Abyss I knew died. The Abyss that I really loved had that old mask that was leather, that was like almost like Mankind, and it looks a lot better. I'm not saying his new mask wasn't feasible for his health or anything, because his new mask might have some new features that his old one didn't have. But at the same time, you can take the old mask and have somebody copy that mask, but with some like updated features, stuff like that. And another thing is, due to WWE being so big, they have dark characters on TV. They always try to get them to start talking on the mic. And when you are a dark character, you should not be ever talking on the mic, unless you are like good with the mic. Like Vampiro, he was good on the mic, whether he's talking on the mic or wrestling, because he's not like the stereotypical like 6'8" tall guy, can whoop your butt, nothing but muscle and stuff. He was just shorter guy that relied more on speed and quickness than try to outmuscle somebody. And he really pretty much lived his gimmick a little bit. Undertaker is another exception, because he's like a 6'8" tall guy who can move around, and when you saw him with Minister of Darkness, you can believe the character, because how he portrayed it and how he was doing things, and the stories about how he was actually living the character instead of just being the character. It's just when you get dark characters a microphone to talk, you kill their mystique, because the whole point of being a dark character is to be unknown, to be mysterious, to be not talking on the mic. Once you give them a mic, they're not a dark character more, they're just a clown. So I believe there need to be some kind of point in time that there be like a resurgence in dark characters where they don't talk, they just go out there, wrestle, and then they disappear. You don't hear from them, you don't see them, and they just do their job. Now, when it comes to putting a title on them, I won't put the top title. I'll put at least like a middle title on them or something, or at least give them a tag team titles and have them like be like Demolition, but not talking. Just go out there, wrestle, and go right in the back. But yeah, that's just how I feel, man. Some people are going to agree, some do not. But it is what it is. So if you like this, you know the routine. Leave a comment, like, subscribe, share. Give me your thoughts, whether it's on YouTube or it's on Twitter or whatever. But just remember, just have fun, stay safe, watch some more wrestling, and stay out of the blast radius.